Hi guys, so welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I want to talk about patch 11.1 and I want to explain what are going to be, in my opinion, some of the best ways to make some gold during this new patch. So here I want to insist on the fact that we don't have too many new things with this new patch. We don't have new, for instance, world BoE items. We don't really have a lot of new cosmetic items or things you can craft or sell on the auction house. So it is pretty limited, but there are still a few important things for you to have in mind. So let's start with what I think might become one of the best ways to make some gold during this new patch and probably even after that. And these are these different mounts that you can see right here. So you have the Asset Advocator, you have the Innovation Investigator, and also the Margin Manipulator. So the reason why I think these are going to be real gold mines is because, as you can see, these are binds when used. And so normally it means you can sell them on the auction house, as again, these are binds when used items. And these are going to be pretty annoying to get because the way you can get these different items is by using the different Miscellaneous Mechanica. And these items are random drops from all the different rares in Undermine, also from the different Paragon chests, and the Paragon chests are linked to the different reputations from the cartels in Undermine, so this is not something that you will be able to get super easily. And also by doing a few other activities, such as for instance dumpster fishing, that you will be able to unlock through the main renown for the cartels of Undermine. So basically, it's not going to be that easy to get some of these different Miscellaneous Mechanica. And with this, you can also buy over pets. So probably some people will also spend them on the pets. And so it means that in total, as you can see, you will need 75 of them in order to get all 3 mounts. And so as you can imagine, probably some people will prefer to buy these from the auction house instead of having to farm again and again and again all the different rares and also the different reputations in order to get enough to buy all 3 mounts. And so here I would really recommend you at the start when you reach 25 to try and look at your auction house, see if there is one that is maybe missing, if there is one that is very, if there is one that is selling for a very good price, and then you can buy it, sell it on the auction house, and if again at some point it doesn't sell, you can always use it. It will be a new mount added to your collection. And again, the only thing really you can do with these items is to buy these different mounts and also the different pets that are associated with it. So again, I think this is going to be really, really good. And I do hope that Blizzard are going to keep these mounts as binds when used. Now, in order for you to see these different mounts, you will need to come right here in that part of the map. And here you want to talk to this vendor, Sketchit Cinderbanks. So when you arrive, you won't be able to see these different items from her simply because instead she will be giving you a quest. And all you have to do is to do this little quest line where you have to assemble this crew together. And this is something you can do right away as soon as you arrive in the new zone. And at the end of this short quest line, you will be able to unlock the vendor and to then see the 3 mounts that you can then purchase with these different items. And this is also going to be a really good opportunity to flip these different items from one realm to another. For instance, when on one very high pop realm, there's going to have a lot of them that will be sold for a cheaper price. You can easily buy them and then use your Warden Bank to transfer them on other realms and sell them there where the value is way more expensive. So I think it is going to be a really interesting thing to farm. And again, all you have to do is to get some of these different Miscellaneous Mechanica. So make sure to kill all the different rares on all your different alts and also to upgrade your different reputations. And if at some point there are other ways that are known of how to farm these different items as efficiently as possible, I will make sure to make a follow-up video to explain exactly what's the best way to get these and to farm these mounts. After that, at number 2, we are going to have the new Raid BoEs. So here, as you can see, we have quite a lot of them. And so again, these are going to be really, really good, especially at the start of the new season, which will be on March 4. And so I would recommend you to try and get your hands on some of them, especially, for instance, the necklace here is going to be really good. And remember that for the first probably few weeks, the mythic version of these different BOEs will be binds when picked up, but then at some point they will become BOEs. And so it means that for now, the best one you can do is heroic. These are going to be the most expensive BOEs. And then once these become available in mythic difficulty, then you should also try to farm the ones in mythic difficulty in order to make as much gold as possible. Here again, this is a farm that is really only about luck and RNG. So sadly, sometimes you will farm for 5 hours and you won't get anything. And sometimes in 1 hour, you will get 2 items that you will be able to sell for 2 million gold or more. Also, if you're lucky, you will be able to get maybe a socket on one of the items or something like that, which will make it even more expensive. But again, it's maybe not for everyone. It's something that will require you to spend quite a lot of time farming for these different items. And sadly, usually there's not really a lot of other things that you can farm at the same time. So just something for you to remember. And also, no. So just something for you to consider. And also, I just want to highlight again that if you are playing, let's say, for instance, on a very hyper realm and at some point there's just too many people selling these items and they're selling for a very cheap price, you can always use your Wildland Bank to sell them on another realm. And on the contrary, if, for instance, you are on a very low pop realm and you see that there is no one who will be interested in buying these different items, try to sell them on a medium or high pop realm where the value is still correct. So like that, you have more chance to sell the item and find someone who will be willing to spend some gold on the item. After that, at number 3, I have to put boosting. So boosting is going to be extremely good in this new patch because we have a few interesting mounts that people will be able to buy through boosts. So first, from Mythic Plus, we have the usual Keystone Master mount, and this is a new mount compared to the previous one from Season 1. And this is, in my opinion, a very nice model. But what's even more interesting is the one that you will be able to get for Keystone Legion. And so it means that now players will be able to get 2 mounts from Mythic Plus. This one will require you to go to 3000 of rating. And so it means that boosters will be able to make even more gold because now they will be able to sell the Keystone Master mount and also the Keystone Legend mount. And so this is going to be a good gold mine for all the different boosters. And then, of course, next to that, we have the Big G mount from Mythic Chrome King Gallywix, which is a really cool mount and really unique model. And so I think this one is going to sell for a lot of gold. And so for these reasons, I really think that boosting is going to become super profitable in this new patch. It's always profitable, but because of these different mounts, I think it's going to be really good. Then after that, we have all the different pets that you will be able to buy with your different resonance crystals from the different cartels. So here each time you will need to reach rewards in order to buy the pet and to then cage it and post it on the auction house. So it's something that will take a little bit of time. But if you are amongst the first few people who are able to do so, you will most likely be able to make quite a lot of gold. Because even though these are pets that you can buy with the resonance crystals, a lot of people prefer to buy them through the auction house because it's easier to farm gold than resonance crystals for many people. And also because, again, a lot of people won't reach reward before quite some time. And so that's a good way for them to get the pet without having to wait for the reputation increase. And so here again, you will have Rocket Fist from the Venture Co. Quartermaster. Then here you will be able to get EP, which is this little hyena right here. So this is the one that will be linked to the Steam Widow. Then for the Bulgewater, you will be able to get this other pet right here, the Bulgewater Junk Hauler. And finally, you will also be able to get the Wavebreaker Mechazor from the Blackwater Cartel. Also, for those of you who are struggling to understand how you can sell some of these pets that are binds when picked up, basically, when you learn them, you will then be able to go here and right-click on the pet and ask to put in a cage, and like that, you will receive a BoE version of these pets, and you will then be able to sell the pets on the auction house. So this is something that is very useful, and like that, you can make a lot of gold, even though these items are normally binds when picked up. Then I want to mention is this new pet right here, Gorillion. So this is a pet that is honestly very easy to get. You will probably be able to farm it in less than 10 minutes, and then you can cage it and sell it on any realms that you want. So as you can see, there's already quite a lot of people who are trying to sell it at the moment, and probably you will have to fight a little bit in order to get a good sale on it. But this is something you can do in 5 minutes. Just post it on the auction house, try to get a sale, and if it doesn't work, you can always just have it as a pet. If you want to know exactly how you can get your hands on this pet, I made a full guide that I will post on the description, so like that you can go and have a look. But again, this is really just a short activity that I think is worth trying, especially right now during the first few days of this new patch. And keep in mind, if you're playing on a hyper realm like myself, you can always decide to go and sell it on another realm where maybe there is less competition. You will also be able to make some gold with the new scrapping activity that you will be able to unlock through the new renown with all the cartels from the Undermine. And so here the way you can make some gold with this new activity is by farming some of these different vintage Kaja Cola can, because as you can see with these you will be able to buy other pets, and you can then also sell these different pets on the auction house. So again, these are pets, it can take some time, it's not the best market, but at least if you want to use your different vintage Kaja Cola can in order to make a little bit of gold, you can definitely try to sell these pets on the auction house. And again, this is something that might be especially good at the start of this new patch. Now, another thing that will probably be very profitable, especially during the first few weeks, are all the new consumables and all these new profession items that you will be able to craft. So here, for instance, as you can see with leather working, we have this new charge armor kit. Then here with inscription, we have the Ventress rune for the liberation of Undermine raid. Then we also have the different contract for the cartels of Undermine. We also have this 22H slicks for the G99 Breakneck mount. So these different items are things you will be able to unlock after reaching Renown 5 with the cartels of Undermine, and then you will be able to buy these different recipes from this vendor that is located in the Intercontinental Hotel, and you will need to have some of these different artisans equity in order to then buy the recipes and make some gold with them. So again here, this is something that I would really recommend you to try and do at the beginning, because sadly the more you will wait, the less profitable these different items will become. But at least for those of you who will manage to be amongst the first few ones in your realm and in your region, most likely you're going to be able to make quite a lot of gold. You will also be able to craft these new food items. So this is the authentic Undermine Clam Chowder, and as you can see, it will give you the well-fed buff, which will increase your highest secondary stats by 470 for an hour. And so the way you get this is very simple. And so here it's very simple. The only requirement is for you to already have the Undermine Clam Chowder recipe unlocked. And this is something you can get with classic cooking. And as you can see, you will be able to buy these recipes from these two vendors right here in the Badlands and the Cape of Stranglethorn. And then once you have this with you, you want to come right here in the Vatworks, so at this specific location. And then when you're here on this table, you will be able to find the Undermine Guide to Authentic Cooking. So you just want to click on it. And normally if you have the other one already unlocked, you will be able to unlock this new recipe when doing that. Another thing that I want to point out is the fact that when you will be killing all the different rares in the new zone, and also when you will be doing a few activities in the new zone, you will be able to get some of these different items that are linked to the G99 Breakneck mount, which is the new drive mount. And as you can see, you will be able to sell these different items on the auction house. So here, especially during the first few days, I would really recommend you to try and sell them, because most likely you will be able to get some sales if, you know, you're like selling them not too high, and if you manage to maybe repost a little bit. These items are probably gonna like decrease a lot in value after a few weeks, so that's why I would recommend you to try and post them now while they are still expensive. And hopefully like that you will be able to make some easy sales with these different random drops that can again drop from any of the different rares in the new zone. And finally, the last thing that I want to mention is this vendor right here, DT plus BoE, who is located in this building at this exact location. And this vendor will be selling the other pets that you will be able to buy with your different miscellaneous Mechanica items. And so here I'm putting it at the last place because even though these pets are probably going to sell for quite a lot of gold because everyone is going to prefer using their miscellaneous Mechanica on the mounts rather than on the pets, it's still not going to be as profitable as actually just going for the mounts and selling the mounts on the auction house. So if at some point the mounts really become irrelevant and are super cheap, what you can do is then decide to invest in the pets, especially because here, as you can see, with 25 you can buy a lot of them at the same time. But again, in my opinion, it's just not going to be as profitable as the different mounts, and so that's the reason why I'm putting it only at the end. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope it will help you to make some gold. Of course, all the ways you were using before that are still relevant. You can still go and farm mounts from previous contents, farm transmog items, or also continue crafting all the different items through the crafting order system and do all these previous things. These are just, let's say, the new things you can do during this new patch and the things that, in my opinion, are interesting and worth considering. But of course, if I forgot anything, please make sure to post some comments below so the rest of your viewers can also just know about these other ways and other techniques that they can use in order to make some gold. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime, I wish you all a great day. Bye!